Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrecht and Tommy Kester.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Happy Monday to you on the program here. It is Sports Daily. It is Jacob Albrecht and Tommy Kester, and we are live with you. Glad to be with you. So happy to be with you on this day. We are going to we're going to give away some HTO today. We're going to get your opportunity to call in, participate in as busy a Reaction Monday as we've had in a very long time. But that's brought to you by IHOP, 869-1240. You can celebrate the weekdays with the new IHOP House Faves. All your favorites is $6 Monday through Friday. We've got to get to Chiefs. We've got to get to Wyatt Thompson, voice of the K-State Wildcats. We'll talk a little K-State hoops over the weekend. We'll look ahead to some K-State football, get a lot of help from KU football this weekend. So we'll sort of recap the Big 12 for you, football, basketball, all those kinds of things. So stay tuned for that. We'll also get to KU's big football win over Iowa State. All the college basketball. Wichita State looks very strong out of the gates. KU got their big win on Friday. K-State continues. Housen, 3-point props. When are they going to be available for us, Tommy? Because I need to bet them. But we'll start with the Chiefs. A wild week in the NFL. You know, the NFL had settled in a little bit, I feel like, the last 2 or 3 weeks. And then this weekend, it was absolutely strange and weird and all the weird things. And I don't know about you, it was a horrible betting weekend. I was on a heater and it came crashing down yesterday. But, you know, a part of that chaos was the Chiefs and the way they won again. I just like, I don't think there is a 9-0 start that I can remember with a team that has won more games weirdly or like at the very end than the Chiefs have been able to do it this season.
Yeah, every single game that the Chiefs play is just wild, you know, and it always ends up in just like this bizarre fashion. And then at the very end of it, we look back and we're like, what the heck? The Chiefs are 9-0. I don't know how that happens, but it did again yesterday for Kansas City. So good to be here today. Looking forward to jumping right into all the wackiness, all the craziness, all the reactions. We'd be remiss, by the way, to not mention Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. And so, you know, definitely, I know a lot of people have today off from work and everything. It's more than just a day off. We salute all the veterans out there, especially those who listen to Sports Daily, who are listening right now. So we appreciate all of you and thank you for your service. Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day to everybody. My dad, a veteran, my grandpa, a veteran. Appreciate it greatly. And hopefully, as you have served time for this country, maybe are serving, we can provide a little fun for you on Veterans Day and get out there and check out all the great, ways people are trying to say thank you. And yeah, it's a good call, Tommy. Can't say thank you enough. The Chiefs had a lot of, Veterans Day activities. The NFL did this weekend. If you went up and that was a part of your weekend, you were treated to another crazy one. I don't even know where to begin in this one. The Broncos did a really good job of keeping the Chiefs away from running the ball. The Chiefs played good defense. It didn't feel like that for a brief point in the game, but they didn't even allow 300 yards in the game. Denver wasn't doing a whole lot. Mahomes was under siege. I think that was pretty obviously the biggest concern is the pressure. And when you saw Wanya Morris leave the game temporarily, I mean, Kingsley Suamataia, Tommy, is almost unusable at left tackle. I mean, he is not even close. And so that totally took the Chiefs out of anything that they wanted to do. Not Xavier Worthy's fault this time, but they didn't hit a connection on another play that should have been a touchdown. This time Mahomes missed the pass. And so just a couple of little things. And it felt like at the end, it was like, God, they've got some things to look at here and some things that they can work on. And those things are still true. And then, of course, they blocked the game-winning field goal. And I'm glad they did it because I hate when teams and the Chiefs do this all the time too. Like, why not just try to score the touchdown? Why not go ahead and try and put it in the end zone? Why run the clock out of a kicker? That drives me nuts. So I'm glad the Chiefs blocked it. The Broncos should have been trying to score until they couldn't and then kick the field goal. But anywho, The Chiefs come up with a big special teams play. They're 9-0. I don't want it to distract, though, Tommy, from some issues that are concerning as we think about a Super Bowl here.
Oh, they're not just concerning, they're glaring issues, and they continue, and really, like, not a lot of it is really that new. I mean, they were amplified, I think, yesterday in the game. They're not new issues. I think offensive line and clearly left tackle is an issue. If you've got a crystal ball, I just had this thought of like, man, I hope that this doesn't happen at some point in the playoffs and the Chiefs ultimately get bounced from the playoff run because of, just this is a glaring reoccurring issue. Now, it was on full display. It was amplified. It was a larger issue overall. I thought that not just at left tackle, offensive line play in general was not good. I thought the Broncos did a phenomenal job up front, not just again at left tackle, but in the interior and on the right side too. Like you mentioned, Patrick Mahomes was under siege. I haven't seen that kind of domination and Patrick Mahomes running for his life since the Super Bowl loss against the Buccaneers a couple of years ago. That was the last time that I feel like I remember Patrick Mahomes being under fire like that consistently throughout an entire ball game. So that's absolutely a glaring issue. That is nothing new, but it was on full display yesterday. I think we can also call a spade and say Patrick Mahomes didn't have a great game. And I wonder how much of that, is due to compensating with his ankle that he dealt with, a week ago in the Monday night game against Tampa Bay. But you mentioned the Xavier Worthy pass that he missed, the potential touchdown pass to Travis Kelce that he missed, that Kelce was wide open and the Broncos left him open in the end zone and Mahomes sailed it over his head. There were a couple of plays that typically we see Patrick Mahomes make. But again, it's sort of indicative of the way this season has gone. Mahomes hasn't been at the top of his game. And that's kind of why, I know a few days ago, earlier, like last week, the conversation was about Mahomes being a dark horse for the MVP. Not if he throws the ball like he did on Sunday against the Broncos. Like that's sort of off the table at this point, as far as I'm concerned.
I jumped the gun. You said you wonder how much was ankle. I thought you were going to say it was offensive line. To me, it's offensive line.
I think it was both. It was both.
Yeah, I mean, the ankle maybe bum a little bit, but no quarterback in the history of football, including Tom Brady, can survive under that kind of fire. It is why pass rushers get paid so much money. The best defense against a great quarterback is a great pass rush, period. End of, like, not even close. You combine that with Patrick Surtain being able to essentially take away a safety blanket in D-Hop, and you get that kind of outcome. And so, look, they survived. Would I be concerned about a rematch against the Broncos in the postseason? I would not.
I would. 100% I would.
I would. Well, I suppose I should be, because they showed you they can rush the passer.
Yep. And they took away the running game.
What's crazy about it is I don't even know, and I'd have to look. I don't think Denver has been like the top pass rushing team in football, but it's tricky. It's very tricky to look at the Chiefs, see that, because it wasn't nearly as bad when Wanya Morris was in the game, right? It was at the beginning and at the end, it wasn't nearly as bad. When Kingsley Suamataia came in, I mean, like you could see, and the broadcast did a good job. Like there was a play where Carson Steele couldn't do what he was supposed to do because he was supposed to be over there chipping. I think Travis Kelce was a chip over there. Like, it limits their offense so much in what they can do when they just can't trust that they're. I mean, it wasn't even close, Tommy. Like, he was getting. It was. I don't remember. Like, again, I say this all the time. I'm not an offensive line scout, right? Like, we watch offensive lines and the obvious things stick out. The obvious thing there is he stood no chance against a dude that's not one of the league's preeminent pass rushers, that was literally just running right around him every single time.
And let's be very clear too. There were a lot of times that it wasn't even like the Broncos were sending blitz. It was just, Suamataia.
No.
He just got beat, right? It's not like they were bringing the house all the time. And
because if you blitz Mahomes, he'll kill you.
100%. Like, it was just a straight up domination, from the defensive line for Denver. And I think that what it shows me, first off, is, there's a clear in major drop off right now from Wanye Morris to Kingsley Suamataia. Suamataia is a rookie. Okay. So I want to give him slightly the benefit of the doubt. Like he started the first couple of games because he had a good preseason, had a good training camp, all of that. Very quickly, I think the Chiefs realized he's not ready for that spot yet. But then he was forced back into action because Wanye Morris went down with a knee injury and was questionable and ultimately came back to the game because they had no other choice. I was watching the game and I'm like, I wonder if like Andy Reid is just thinking for Wanye Morris, hey, it's already like the knee is already injured. How much worse can it get at this point? If he just plays on it, and we've got to have a better option out there. They need more depth at left tackle. I've been shouting from the rooftops about that for weeks now. And that goes back to all the conversations we had before the trade deadline about how, yeah, it was great they went out and got D-Hop. It was great they got a pass rusher in Josh Uche. They need left tackle help big time. They have to have it.
I agree. There was no trade to be made. I'll concede that. Literally anybody would have been better than Suamataia in those snaps. Anybody.
They must know something about Donovan Smith that we don't know about.
Who it is.
I mean, because he's still out there on the street, and this is a guy that started for the Chiefs a year ago at left tackle.
Anybody would have been better. I tell you, who's your backup right tackle? Who's your third string? Who's your practice squad?
And can I tell you,
I don't
and
care
this
who
is
it is.
This is a different conversation for a different time, but I just kept thinking about this yesterday. You know who I really ultimately pinned this entire thing on? The debacle at left tackle, Jawan Taylor. They signed him to shift over to be the left tackle, and he's never played at left tackle.
They have swung and missed. They have swung and missed a lot at left tackle. And, thankfully, Rashee Rice can, to me, everybody wants to say how many wide receivers they've missed on, and it's been a lot. I'll concede that. But they also hit on Rashee Rice. If it wasn't for Rashee Rice, like those two positions are their just Achilles heel. They've won 2 Super Bowls in a row. They're 9-0. Don't think we're like dogging. We're looking for, and we'll get into this later in the show. I just want to try to get through into things now that could be, and I've said this all year, that could bite them in the postseason. They're going to be the 1 seed. They're going to get that. Like, none of that's a problem. But what about when you get to the postseason and a game like yesterday, you don't block the game-winning field goal? A game like Cincinnati doesn't come down to a field goal. Atlanta doesn't come down to a field goal. Baltimore doesn't come down to a toenail out of bounds. Like, all of these little things in the postseason. I mean, good for you if you can get that lucky. But there are things for the Chiefs to work on in a game that was, I just can't imagine how thrilling that was for the people that were there. That's so much fun. You'll remember that forever. But they're 9-0. We'll get more into that when we come back. We'll begin the conversation with a little college hoops and a little college football, because the voice of the K-State Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson, joins us next on Sports Daily. Don't go anywhere. We got lots coming for you today. Albrecht and Castor, we'll be right back.
Just because it's 4 o'clock doesn't mean your day's wrapping up. Get the facts first on 12 News at 4. It doesn't matter where you are. In the office, on the road, or on your couch, 12 News is everywhere. Bringing you the story as it happens, catching you up on everything you need to know, and giving you your first look at the next 10 days from Storm Team 12. Watch weekdays on KWCH and KSPW. 12 News at 4. Facts first.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Make yourself known now.
310-01 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Morning to KFH. Staff enjoys a great cup of coffee from Prairie Fire Coffee. Appreciate them for keeping us fueled up each and every morning here on the show. We are happy to welcome in now the voice of the K-State Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson, into the program. It is a busy time of the year because you get a week off from football, but that just kind of coincides right with the start of college basketball. We'll get to hoops in a minute, Wyatt. Let's look at what's happening around K-State right now. We've said it before, biggest KU fans in the world, ought to be K-State right now, and they got one set of the help. You get Iowa State to lose, that's good. Iowa State loses their second straight. They could have handled that business without them. But as you look around the Big 12, it would appear, K-State can't control its own destiny, Wyatt. Colorado has to lose. Colorado plays Utah and Oklahoma State, but they do play Kansas. And I don't know what you guys can do in Manhattan to your friends down in Lawrence to, sweeten the pot a little bit for that one. That looks like it's going to be the only shot for Colorado to get down there, and KU, to have to win all your games and count on your arch rival to win that one. What does that even feel like right now?
Well, it's a little bit odd, and good to be on with you guys. I got to be honest with you. I was not all of that confident that Kansas was going to get Iowa State in Kansas City, but they were clearly the better team most of the day. And I believe that for whatever the problems were early, they've kind of gotten past it, and they're playing kind of like everybody thought they would, and good for them, I guess, right? I mean, it is, we've seen what they've done. I thought they played pretty darn well here, certainly had a chance to win, and not just a chance, but a pretty good chance. They beat a good Iowa State team. Can they beat Colorado? Well, that goes to the next point, because I really thought Tech would give Colorado a better game than that. They were the better team early, not so much from about the second quarter on. So, yeah, it seems a little strange to say that K-State doesn't control its own destiny, but it is so. They need Colorado to lose. That is true. Will they? I'm not convinced that they will, but hey, you got to keep grinding, man. In this league, did you think Utah and BYU would end like that? I mean, you never know.
Yeah,
Why did you?
It's crazy.
I was just going to ask you, from the KU Iowa State game, Wyatt, did you see anything from Iowa State that you think the Wildcats can use against them in a couple of weeks up in Ames? Like, I feel like with how, quickly Iowa State can score when they actually get that offense going, that might be something that, at least defensively, the Wildcats would want to keep in mind.
That is true. There's no doubt. But I have to tell you that I think it's pretty obvious that they're not necessarily the team that they were earlier. But from the perspective of injury, they've been, sometimes when you have injuries, it always seems to hit in like one particular spot. As an example, K-State has lost 2 guys for the year now in the linebacking core. Fortunately, none of them are the starters, but they've lost Bo Palmer and they have lost Asa Newsom. And both of those guys were getting a lot of reps on defense, but also 2 of the better players K-State has on special teams. Iowa State has lost a frontline guy and another, probably their 4th or 5th linebacker. So, and I think it's affected them some. They're a veteran team, and you're right, Tommy. I've always liked their quarterback. I think their receivers are solid. When you have a guy like Sama and you can go out and get another guy to add to the mix and gives you a little, I guess I'll call it Dylan Edwards flavor, that's a good thing. I think they're a good football team. They just didn't have all the juice they needed in the game against Kansas, though. It's crazy how this league's working.
It is. I mean, K-State still has to handle their business.
That's right.
It's hard to think about that, right? They had the disappointing loss to Houston, the most recent time we saw them on the field, but they do, I think we may be assuming too much to think they're going to beat Arizona State, beat Cincinnati, and go on the road at Iowa State. Each one of those will present different challenges. That includes this weekend against Arizona State, a team that, technically speaking, is ahead of K-State right now in the standings. They've got the same conference record. I mean, I think on paper we would say K-State's the better team, but this is no cakewalk against Arizona State.
No, not in any way, shape, or form, to be real honest with you. And I'll be truthful here. I thought without Scadaboo the other night, they would be in harm's way against UCF, and it wasn't perfect for them, but they still found a way to win the game 35-31. Tyson Brown did a good job as the number 1 running back. DeCarlos Brooks didn't have as many opportunities, but both of those guys are good players. I don't know how much you guys have watched Arizona State, but Sam Levitt's pretty good. He struggled a little bit without Scadaboo, but when you look at their numbers, everybody talks about Jordan Tyson and Levitt and Scadaboo, but go search out their defensive numbers a little bit, fellas. In watching them and preparing for the broadcast this week, their defense is pretty solid. They don't have a lot of big name guys, but they're good. I just think that Coach Dillingham is young, enthusiastic, emotional, and the kids have responded to that for them. No one thought that they would be sitting here at 7-2 at this point and 4-2 in the league, or at least nobody that I know.
Maybe you can provide a little bit of insight on this, Wyatt, because I know it's really early in the week, and obviously things can move and change and whatever. I'm having an issue with this line early in the week. I mean, it's right now 8.5, Kansas State at home. And I know that, like you just mentioned, the expectations weren't there for Arizona State to be where they are right now. But with, the same conference record and all of that as the Wildcats, what am I missing here? Is it just primarily the fact that this game is in Manhattan, or why do you think the line is where it is right now?
That's a really good question. A lot of times I don't pay that much attention to it, but I'm just looking at their chart. And so far in the league, they're 1-2 on the road. Overall, They have been unscathed at home. And that probably can be said for most teams in our league, but that's the only real answer I can give you, Tommy.
Sure.
None of the rest of it makes sense. To me, 8.5 is too much, especially when you consider, K-State was on the road 2 weeks ago and lost. They played. They've got a lot to play for. So does K-State. That one I shake my head on.
K-State just lost to Houston, Wyatt, and didn't look particularly good doing it. I mean, I wouldn't say I would bet Arizona State here. K-State's coming off of a bye. Arizona State's on the road. Like, I guess I get the line. I don't think I'm comfortable with it, but I do think K-State's a better team.
Yeah.
But they have to play better, and they were a better team than Houston also, and they obviously didn't win the game.
Right. Yeah, and there were a lot of factors why. I mean, we talked about it last week. When you average 4.4 yards a play, not per rush but per play, and under 3 yards per rush, what happened? Well, K-State lost the game at the line of scrimmage. The defensive front for Houston was better than the K-State offensive line that day. And I know in the past couple of weeks, and we're early into game week here after a bye week, but they've worked on a lot of different things. Now, the veterans got some time and probably needed that. They worked on a lot of skill stuff like they did with the young guys in the first bye week. But now you got to get back at it. And I think K-State has done, maybe you guys will agree with this, the Houston game aside, maybe you won't, but I think this team has become a better passing team, but they're not there where they want to be just yet. And that has helped some. But teams have started to adjust to the run game. I'm anxious from that perspective to watch Saturday night. What has K-State done to kind of, you almost look at it like, hitters and pitchers adjusting to each other, right? It's a game of cat and mouse. And, started at West Virginia when they put a fifth man down and just, had 7 men in the box and made it tough. And K-State has not run the ball that well, over the last 3 games. Fact.
Let's shift over to basketball, Wyatt. On Saturday, the Wildcats get a 13-point win over Cleveland State to move to 2-0 on the season. Brendan Housen, 22 points, 6 3-pointers. I think what is remarkable to me about what Housen has been able to do in the first 2 games for Kansas State is that you would think, at least I would think, that a brand new player coming into a brand new environment, it might take a little bit of time to get acclimated, a little bit of a runway to get going. That has not been the case with Housen. He has jumped out from day one and is, looking like a premier offensive threat for Kansas State.
This is a guy that came here last year with the Villanova team and played 6 minutes, fellas. I don't know if it was just a bad fit for him there or what, but I have been totally impressed with him and what he has done. Not just his ability to shoot the ball, but everything that he has done. You can tell he loves it here. He's just the most happy-go-lucky guy in the world. I suppose if I had made 10 of my first 18 shots in 2 games from three-point land, I'd be pretty tickled too. And that's with him taking a couple of 2 or 3 that were probably ill-advised in that first game. He's playing relaxed. He's a better athlete than I thought he was going to be at first sight. Been real pleasant surprise. I sat here and I'm looking at K-State's stat sheet, and you got Brendan Housen at 19.5, David Gasson at 16 and a half and 9 rebounds, 15 points a game for Max Jones. And then Coleman Hawkins at 8.5. Did you think 2 games in, Coleman Hawkins would be K-State's 4th leading scorer?
No.
You're smarter than I am if you thought so.
I've got to confess, White. I've had Hausen's from the same town I'm from, so he was in Amarillo, a local legend, sort of as a high school player, and his recruitment to Villanova was very highly noted. And I try to keep up with that stuff. But I've talked to people when he signed to K-State, and I've also talked to other basketball people, and the consensus was universal. Never seen a shooter, one of the best shooters I've ever seen. Never seen a shooter. I don't know what happened to Villanova. I have no idea. But I've been telling people here too, like the second that you get, if you're betting 3-point props with Hausen, take it, because in the exhibitions, he took a ton of them. Yeah. And Jerome Tang has been asked about it. And Jerome Tang has been very open with, we love it. Like shoot, fire away, right? Like we want to see good shots, but no issue with the high volume. I think eventually teams will adjust. But Wyatt, right now, this is a team that's averaging 26.5 threes attempted in a game. They're making a great deal of them.
Mm-hmm.
Did we see this team-wide DNA of being that, that type of volume of a 3-point shooting team? I suspected it out of Hausen, but it's really the totality that has me a little bit surprised. Like they're taking a ton of threes.
Yeah, they are. They've taken 53 in 2 games. They've made 23. That's 43%.
Take it all day.
Absolutely. I mean, Max Jones has gone 5 of 7. Hawkins is 3 of 9, hasn't shot it well. Here's the thing. They're shooting 43%, and Doug McDaniel is 0 for 5, and David Castillo is 1 for 7. And they're 2 of the better shooters on the team from 3. I think what's happening here is, and just being honest about this, I think Coach Tang wants to play, because of their length and depth and athleticism, fast, and he's okay with jacking up some threes. He wants them to be, within offense.
Yeah.
But I think he loves the fast pace and fire it up there, because you can, you can go get a rebound if you need to. They did not rebound the ball on Saturday. That was one downside, and the turnovers were up a little bit. But not until they, kind of like that first game, they're kind of playing to the level of the competition occasionally from that perspective. But I don't know how you can't watch this team through the first couple and be excited about what they bring to the floor. I mean, they, Onyenso hasn't really given them a whole lot yet. We saw a couple of pretty good minutes out of by fall. So they do have a lot of pieces now that, frankly, they just haven't had or didn't have last year. Maybe that's the best way to say it.
Yeah, on that note, Wyatt, I mean, all the storylines going into this season were the newcomers and the transfers, whether we're talking about Coleman Hawkins or Doug McDaniel, Max Jones, of course, Hausen, all of that. But what's so, I think, incredible to me is that through the first 2 games, at least from an offensive perspective and rebounding as well, it's been a returner. It's been David Gasson.
Yeah.
And, just watching him, it seems night and day. How much of that is growth from last year to this year for Gasson? And in your mind, how much of it is he's got a team around him that maybe helps bring out the best in him, where maybe he didn't have that a year ago?
It's a great point, Tommy, because the reality is that it's probably all of that. I look at the 3 years that he's been here, and I would even say that he was better a year ago than he was the year before. It was different for him, and his role was different. But that's going to make sense when that first year included guys like Marquise Noel and Keontae Johnson, right? There's not going to be a lot of shots there. He's already taken 20 shots and made 16 in 2 games. But part of it is, alley-oops and putbacks and those kind of things. You can shoot 70 or 80% if you're doing that kind of stuff. I just think it's a pretty unique player from the standpoint of, this is a guy who's 6'10". He's been around in a couple of different programs. He's played international basketball, and he's in the last 2 summers. And he basically said to me straight up, last year summer was one of the best things that happened to me, because 1, I got to play with my brother representing the Dutch national team, and 2, those guys were grown men and they made me grow up. It was either I fight and battle or I'm going to get my backside kicked. So what's the option? Go compete. and he's competing, I think, as good as he has ever done here. And he does. I mean, you see him. He can handle the ball. He's a decent passer. Would I like to see him shoot the ball better from the free throw line? Of course. He's over 3, but he is working on it. I don't think he'll be 40%. I don't know that it'll be 70 either, but hopefully somewhere in between. But the rest of his game is pretty good, don't you think? It has been so far.
Yeah, he's well-rounded and experienced. Yeah. I would say this on Baskin. You tell me if I'm wrong. It feels like right now we're seeing all the peripherals go really well for the Cats, the little things, and we really haven't even seen what will ultimately become their bread and butter down the stretch.
Right.
And I think that's like, for me, that's really that's an optimistic take. Like, and I know they haven't played anybody. I get it.
Yeah.
But we're seeing the little things be really good, and what we kind of expect them to be good at, not even there yet. Is that fair?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's right on task. It's right on the money because, they have been a little bit up and down in the play, but again, I think some of that is when you're up 20 and you're putting a team together, they've lost a little focus in stretches. But I'll tell you, man, the other day against Cleveland State, and I know they're challenged offensively. I'm the first guy to admit that. They even admit it, right? They'll struggle to score at times, but yet they shot 28%, and we're fortunate to get that. They were struggling to even find shots, more or less make shots. I just think this team has a chance to be really good defensively. They're probably going to have to be reminded every time out, get on the glass, because when they do, with the way they defend, and hopefully they continue to progress offensively. I'm excited on the offense because of all of the options. And I just don't think they have a lot in yet. They're going to continue to grow, I think, and get better as we go. Now, certainly you ramp it up with competition here relatively soon. No question about that.
Yeah, and on that note, Wyatt, LSU comes to town on Thursday night. It's old friend alert. Cam Carter is now with LSU, and he has been fantastic through the first couple of games for LSU. 21 points in both of the first 2 games for the Tigers, and he'll make his return to Bramlage on Thursday. I mean, that's clearly somebody that Jerome Tang is extremely familiar with, right? How do you game plan a guy like that when he's been on your team before and now you're facing him back inside Bramlage Coliseum?
I think it's more about how you handle the mental side of it as opposed to knowing what he can or can't do, right? I mean, that's the pretty obvious statement, but I'm happy for Cam. He got to go. I didn't want to see him leave in any way, shape, or form, and I loved him here. He's a kid that cared. He worked, busted his tail. He's a good athlete. He's worked himself into being a good basketball player. Had an opportunity to play for the team he grew up rooting for. I don't want him to play well Thursday night, but other than that, I'm all good with whatever he does. And he has developed into a really nice player. And I think they have, they're kind of one of those teams that they've been up and down lately. And this is year 3 for Coach Mack. And I think they really have a lot of talent. But like K-State, they're kind of still piecing it together. But if they play at optimum level, they can be dangerous because they've got a 4-star freshman in that starting lineup and Robert Miller, and Reed is back, and they've got the transfers from K-State with Cam Carter and Bailey from Richmond, and the kid from UT Martin, Jordan Sears, pretty good. So they're going to bring some athletes in here. If you like athletic basketball, come to Bramlage Thursday. I think you're going to enjoy it.
The good news for you, Wyatt, is you get to stay home for all of it. You get
100%.
The LSU game on Thursday. You get the Arizona State game on Saturday. It's a big week on campus there, I would imagine, in Manhattan.
I'm going to think by the time we fly to Ames the Friday after Thanksgiving, my wife's going to be ready for me to be gone again.
Don't you guys have a road game?
As much as we have traveled, it's weird being here for a couple of weeks straight, right?
Yeah,
it's just the best feeling in the world. I guess when you play 3 out of 4 on the road, they got to give you a home game or 2 here and there, right? That's right or wrong.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. You guys will be back on the road. Of course, you'll hear all the action for both men's basketball and for football right here on KFH. Wyatt, enjoy the week. It'll be a fun week. Big time games for both programs, and we're certainly excited to see it.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. I enjoy being on with you.
There goes the voice of the Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson. Always appreciate his visits. It's a big week. I've liked K-State hoops' makeup and on paper and all of these things. We'll see against LSU. We'll see. And maybe we'll get finally some 3-point props for Brendan Housen.
It'll be fun to see how they handle Cam Carter. I'm excited for
I know that'll be
that matchup. That'll be fun.
And him being back, it's even better too because it's back at Bramlage. You know, if it'd be one thing if it was on the road, but the fact that he gets to come back is cool. Hey, Crestview Country Club, Tommy and I both members, want to tell you about the fall where they have holidays at the club, always hopping. If you don't have Thanksgiving plans, they do a big brunch. They also offer food that you can take home, and you can, participate in those things. If you don't play golf, they've got different membership levels, some that cover just all that kind of fun stuff. Give them a call. Tell them we sent you over at Crestview Country Club. Appreciate their support. When we come back, let's hit the Jayhawks and the Shockers quickly as we wrap up hour number one. More Chiefs, more NFL coming up in the next hour as well. Don't go away. Sports Daily coming right back.
Just because it's 4 o'clock doesn't mean your day's wrapping up. Get the facts first on 12 News at 4. It doesn't matter where you are. In the office, on the road, or on your couch, 12 News is everywhere. Bringing you the story as it happens, catching you up on everything you need to know, and giving you your first look at the next 10 days from Storm Team 12. Watch weekdays on KWCH and KSTW. 12 News at 4. Facts first.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Make yourself known now.
310-01 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Looking for any inside outside home remodeling projects, kitchen, bathroom, give Pepin Suter a call. You can go to pepinsuter.com, PEPINSUTER, and check out all of their work. You can also call Pepin Suter 316-573-6822. They did our kitchen remodel and some work at a couple other places, built an office for us out of a dining room. Couldn't recommend them enough. The price was right. Their bid was lower than everybody else's. And again, I've said this before, what we appreciated is the care and the quality they gave our family to keep us as operational as you can during something like a kitchen remodel. Appreciate Pepin Suter for his support of the program. Give him a call. Check out all their latest work at pepinsuter.com. Tommy, I noticed on the stream here, you're at home today. Good day off.
I am. Yeah. So day off other than the show. And I know that you typically, do your part of our program from your home studio, and I'm rarely at home these days. I'm sure that people think that, doing a sports talk radio show is like this glamorous thing, but it never stops. Like I'm unloading the dishwasher during our commercial break, back and forth. And I know a lot of times you're out, you're doing different things, you're getting kids ready. It's not this like glamorous thing. So I've got like dishes out just on the other side of this wall that I'm not done yet. I got to go and finish unloading the dishwasher on our next commercial break.
I unloaded the dishwasher before we came on the air. What you got to do is get your routine down, get the kids out of the door, get all that stuff done. You come down, you're ready to rock and roll. Home studios are fun. They're different. They're fun. You get used to them once you get in the groove. But I'm happy for you on dish duty there.
The problem is I have no idea where things go. And my wife, I mean, she's very organized. She has very specific places that she wants things, but then she wants me to put the dishes away. And I'm like, I don't know where you like things. So I'm sure she'll rearrange where I've unloaded everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, just put them in random places and then get your phone out and take a video of when she finds that. And then you can share that with all of us here on social media.
Oh, she will.
Bring us inside the madness there. It's been a minute now, Tommy, since we saw it, but boy, KU, North Carolina delivered. Surprisingly so, as KU blew at one point a 20-point lead in the game, but they held on and they got it. Again, I'll take the win any way you can get it. I don't know about North Carolina. I don't know what kind of team they'll be. I think in a couple of weeks, when the dust settles, we'll know what kind of win this is. But it's a good win against a good team. I think the only thing for me that is moderately concerning, that I don't think will be a concern down the road, is Hunter Dickinson got fatigued in the second half, and that was a problem for KU when that happened, big time.
Yeah, I think that really it's going to end up being a high quality win. I mean, that was a first class basketball game.
I think so
between two top 10 teams. I mean, yeah, we may not know a lot about North Carolina at this point, but we know they're a top 10 team. They came into that game 9th in the country. And so it was high level basketball. The first half dominated by Kansas, the second half dominated by North Carolina. It was almost the reversal of the national championship game a couple of years ago, where North Carolina got out to a big lead and then Kansas was able to cut it down. I get the moderate concern about Hunter Dickinson. He'll be fine. He's been doing this long enough, and he was coming off of an injury anyway in the offseason, and I think he'll work his way back. I think for me, the biggest takeaway was the spark offensively in the first half that Zeke Mayo is to this team. I mean, he's a great player, and he's great offensively as well. And he can go out and get a shot. He can manufacture offense in a way that this team really has been lacking as of late. And so I think that, knowing that he was able to do that against a top 10 opponent, I think bodes well for what he's going to be able to do for the remainder of this season.
Viewer on Facebook tells us he was surprised we didn't see more Flory in the second half. It kind of took the words out of my mouth in this way. And you brought up Zeke Mayo. KU struggled as Zeke Mayo and Hunter Dickinson struggled. That stretch of the game where Zeke Mayo went cold, and that stretch of the game where Hunter Dickinson was gassed was the real problem for KU. Bill Self called a very well-timed timeout to get Dickinson the rest, and then Mayo came back through. So I think, early in a season when KU is going to play a ton of these high quality games, let's just watch now. Okay, where else is the offense going to come from? Number one, like who generates, if those are the two guys when they went cold that allowed that to happen, like what's the next option? And for me, what does it look like behind Hunter? Is Flory Badunga ready to be that dude that if Hunter Dickinson needs to come off, you don't lose all of that when you put Badunga out on the floor to replace him?
I think today the answer is probably no. Actually, I think the answer is probably more not yet. He'll get there. He's very raw, and you see the athleticism that he brings and just the skill set that he naturally has. It gets you excited. But then there are also those moments where, man, you can tell he is in Bill Self's doghouse, because the one thing that Bill Self hates more than anything else is, when you just kind of lose track of where you are on the court, when you make mental mistakes, when you're a young, raw, unproven talent. There was some of that in the game on Friday. He'll be okay. He'll develop into, I think, exactly who Bill Self needs him to be. I think my answer to that question, though, with Dickinson is not yet.
Yeah, they need an option, and while Badunga gets acclimated to help not leave such a hole if Dickinson's gassed, because right now, coming off the injury, he will be 8 guys, pretty much in the rotation for KU. By the way, we'll take a mental note of that. It was down to 8, so that's also something I think of note with the higher quality opponent, how Bill Self utilized that bench and that rotation. All right, when we come back, we can get more into KU. We got to hit the Shockers as well. They had a big weekend, and of all the things we've seen, theirs maybe has people the most excited, at least coming out of the unknown for this year. And we'll get back into the Chiefs. The field goal, you'll hear Mitch Holthus's call on that, the blocked field goal, I should say, and the big picture concerns, because I think there are some for a team that's 9-0. And yeah, we'll nitpick. They're going for history, for goodness sakes. Happy Veterans Day, everybody. Say thank you to a veteran when you see him. Take good care of them today and every day. And we'll be back with more Sports Daily right after this.
Just because it's 4 o'clock doesn't mean your day's wrapping up. Get the facts first on 12 News at 4. It doesn't matter where you are. In the office, on the road, or on your couch, 12 News is everywhere, bringing you the story as it happens, catching you up on everything you need to know, and giving you your first look at the next 10 days from Storm Team 12. Watch weekdays on KWCH and KSPW. 12 News at 4. Facts first.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Make yourself known now.
310-01 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems
Why are they hiding it?
and real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrocht and Tommy Kester.
35-yard attempt, well within his range. 18 of 20 this season. There's Lutz, and one of those misses a 60-yarder to end the half. 35-yard attempt from the far hash. Dixon, the punter, will hold. Raboni is the long snapper. Lutz waiting for the snap. Placement is down. Lutz's kick is blocked. It's blocked. It's blocked. The Chiefs blocked the kick. They're going to stay undefeated. The Kansas City Chiefs blocked a 35-yard field goal attempt. Kansas City wins this game on a blocked field goal.
Can't wait to talk to Dan Israel tomorrow about that block. We've Welcome back into Sports Daily, everybody. Jacob Albrock, Tommy Castor here. Jad Chambers producing for us. IHOP hotline is open the rest of the way. You can celebrate the weekdays now with new IHOP House Faves. All your favorites, just $6 Monday through Friday. That number, 869-1240. You can also leave us your comments if we've had a couple here that we'll get to on our video streams, which, of course, you'll find at 12 News Connected. You'll find on Facebook, YouTube, and on X. Lots of different ways to get in touch with the show. You can also leave us your voice messages through the Odyssey app. So glad to be here with you. Yeah, can't wait to talk to Dan about that play. But Dan will be the first. I can tell you right now, will be the first person to tell you there are things to be thinking about with the Chiefs. They're 9-0. Maybe if they were crushing people, Tommy, on the way to 9-0, anybody on the planet would be talking about their chances to go undefeated this year. I don't think anybody is, rightfully so, because of how many just wacky things have happened at end of games to help them get there. But it is still on the table. But, we just don't let it distract you from the reality that there are vulnerabilities here that are of concern, certainly. Now, it's so different than it was a year ago where we were trying to do the opposite, right? They were struggling, but it was like, well, hang on. They still have this formula to win, playoff games, and you still like their chance. All those things. It's like the flip side of it now. It's like, well, yeah, they're undefeated, but hang on. There are still things that could get this team in big trouble in the postseason. Namely, right now, it's can they defend against some of the league's best pass rushers? We have seen this. If this year's team doesn't remind you of some of the Patriots teams, I mean, it has from day one for me. And what were those teams' Achilles heel? When Tom Brady was pressured without a blitz. What was the Chiefs' Achilles heel in the Super Bowl that they lost? Pressure without the blitz, pressure from the front four. And right now, it has been a problem for this team all year. And it became even more glaring when Wanya Morris, who hadn't been fantastic, but certainly is better than Suamataia. Andy Reid was asked after the game, Tommy, if there was any thought to move Joe Thuney over there. He said there was not. You brought up Jawan Taylor. Jawan Taylor was just the latest miss of many on the Chiefs trying to solve left tackle. Rick said when we brought that up that he was never signed to be a left tackle, which is not true. He was absolutely signed to be a left tackle. And in fact, he is still to this day the 10th highest paid tackle in football. I can promise you that the 9 in front of him, I can't promise you, but I'm pretty sure the 9 in front of him are all left tackles. Right tackles, non-blindside blockers are not paid that way. So yes, they absolutely had the idea of him coming in to be the left tackle, and he has not been for 1 second. And he's had his own issues. Whatever reason, for all of the wonderful and amazing things this team has done over the year, they have struggled with this spot. They have the best interior line in football. They have nailed draft picks on the line, but not at left dang tackle. And Kingsley Suamataia, you cannot put him in there right now. And maybe he gets better over the course of the season, but Tommy, it's like if you or I were out there. I mean, somebody can run around anybody. You can't use him out there.
Yeah, I think that the Suamataia situation mirrors and is fairly similar to, I think, what has gone on with Xavier Worthy. Because remember, both of these guys were drafted very high. Xavier Worthy was a first-round pick. Suamataia was a second-round pick this year for Kansas City. And I think both of those guys have been forced into action a little bit quicker than maybe they would be comfortable with as rookies. And I get it. They were highly drafted rookies, and so you expect a lot more out of them than somebody who's drafted in the mid to late rounds. But Suamataia, when he was drafted, there was never a thought in my mind on draft day when his name got called at the podium that he would be the opening day starter at left tackle for the Chiefs. I never thought that. I thought he would eventually be the starter at left tackle for Kansas City, but I didn't think he would be the opening day starter for Kansas City. And you quickly learned, okay, he's not ready yet for that. He's not ready to be in that role yet. And not unlike Xavier Worthy for a couple of weeks needing to be wide receiver 1 when Rashee Rice went down and the Hollywood Brown injury and Juju Smith-Schuster is out and all of that. So both of these guys have been, I think, pushed into or forced in. I don't even want to say forced, but they've been ushered into roles that maybe are ahead of where they are on schedule with their development in the NFL. That's why, especially with left tackle, and look, I absolutely understand how hard it is to get left tackle right. That's the most important position on the offensive line because you're protecting a quarterback's blind side. And there are not very many high level left tackles that are out there that are able to be rock solid all the time. So it's a hard position to land, and that's a position that tends to get paid pretty well also. So I get how difficult it is. I just wish that they would have went out in the off season, or, I mean, they could still do it at any time. There are plenty of veteran left tackles that are on the market to at least like give them additional depth. That's all I've been asking all along, because Wanya Morris, I think it's pretty clear, like, while he is an upgrade from Suamataia, he's banged up, and he has been banged up, and now he's dealing with a knee injury. I'm just not sure that you want to be able to put Suamataia out there. I just wish that they would be able to get somebody else to be able to provide a little bit more depth.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Alt has been incredible for the Chargers, but he's a number 5 overall pick, right? I don't know about Latham or Fashanu for the Jets or Fuaga for the Saints, Mims. There were a lot of tackles taken, and I don't have a PFF subscription, and I really don't know how to go in and like evaluate them all. But Suamataia doesn't look like, and this is unfair, and I'm not intending to be unfair. I mean, we're just looking at it through a lens. Like, that doesn't look like a player that's ever going to be able to physically hang to me. Like, he's not fast enough. He's not quick enough. And I hope that that changes, and I think that it can. But when we watch like Wanya Morris make mistakes or struggle and Suamataia make mistakes and struggle, it's like we're in two different galaxies, right? Like, the struggles are very different. So if it's a miss, it's a miss. It's okay, fine. But that doesn't mean, like, you still got to do something to solve the problem right now. And he's not it. So what is it? And I think that becomes the biggest thing to watch down the stretch. For Worthy, who got a lot of attention last year, Tommy started the game with a drop pass and a false start. Like, I was like, are we watching Kadarius Toney out here? Like, what is happening now? And then he did have that good route. He beat the player, and Mahomes missed the throw. I did think that, Worthy had a big opportunity in that game. The problem is they didn't get, like, the reasons we liked Worthy got disrupted with bad left tackle play too. So, like, Worthy's going to be a player where they're going to need a little pass protection to get him down the field on those routes. And that sort of goes hand in hand. But man, this season is true greatness in the NFL, Tommy, just the ability to close out a game. I mean, honestly, like, is that the number one thing we should look at for teams? Look at what the Lions did last night. The Lions had no business being in that game. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions in that game. 5. And they were able to beat the Texans. The Chiefs did not play particularly well and found a way to close out a game. Now, their way was more fluky, I think, than the Lions' way. But is that like the number one quality of a team right now in the NFL? Is just like, the margins are so razor thin, just the ability to win a game, because we look at the best teams in football and that's what they do. And that's the biggest difference between those teams and then the good teams that can't win games, that just won't get there. A la, well, I don't even know what to say about the Jets now, but the Bengals certainly would be in that category. I won't put the Broncos there. I think that's unfair, but who fits that example? The 49ers almost fit that example. The Buccaneers kind of fit that example right now, a little bit, of these teams that are good, but just keep finding ways to lose games late. It's remarkable that this team is 9-0, and they do so many things well that I mean, I guess it's on the table for them to be unbeaten. We're barely halfway through, so I think it's still a little silly to think about unbeaten for the entire season, but they're the only one left standing. I mean, is it even worth talking about at this point?
Yeah, no, I think it is worth talking about at this point, because look, like there was so much weirdness in the NFL this weekend, and just things that, like you mentioned at the very top of the show, because of the, I think we were maybe lured into a false sense of just like everything settled down in general in the NFL. And then, of course, yesterday happened and there was just weirdness. I mean, everything from the Lions, with 5 interceptions from Jared Goff, and, the Chiefs needing to block a field goal to win the game. Like, it shows that every team in the NFL is vulnerable. We've known that. Like, there are flaws. There is not a perfect team in the NFL. Even the 9-0 Chiefs and the 8-1 Lions, who I think everybody would probably put at the very top of the power rankings in the NFL. Both those teams very nearly lost their games. And the Texans are dealing with a ton of injuries. And so they're not at 100%, and they almost knocked off the Lions. And then the Broncos, I think, from an offensive point of view, they're not there yet. They very nearly knocked off the Chiefs. So even the top teams in the league are vulnerable, and things can happen where opponents can jump up and get you right away. And so those are, I think, it's absolutely worth continuing to talk about.
Other wacky things: the Falcons lose to the Saints. The Vikings barely squeak by the Jaguars. Sam Darnold threw like 3 interceptions. They ran more plays in Jaguar territory than the Jaguars ran plays. Let that sink in for a minute. But they barely squeak by. The Patriots smashed the Bears. As far as like the weirdness of the day, those are just like the weird things. So then we look at what wasn't weird. The Chargers look good again, playing their brand of Harbaugh football, and we probably all should have seen this coming a mile away. The Eagles are, I mean, are they all the way back? Cowboys suck, but still, they scored 34 points in that game. I think that's, we got to take note of that. The 49ers are healthy. I think we take note of. The Steelers did end up with that great game. The Steelers did end up going on the road and taking down the Commanders. The Bills look good. I think in the craziness of the day, there were some teams that, are continuing to separate a little bit. Just a wild day in the NFL, though. Like, all of these teams. And the problem when you don't have good play on the offensive line is all of those teams, to me, Tommy, feel closer to the Chiefs maybe than we thought they would. And I know I've said that before, but if I don't, like, if I think the Chiefs are going to have bad left tackle play or bad line play in the postseason, like, all of these teams instantly become contenders to beat the Chiefs. Don't they? I mean, every good team immediately becomes a team where you're like, yeah, they scare. Every team scares you when you can't block the blind side. I mean, every single team.
Yeah, I mean, because I think that yesterday, it's not like the Broncos, and I'm not trying to drag the Broncos at all, but they don't have like a name brand defensive line, right? They don't have a name brand pass rush. They're good. They're good, but there's not a star. Like, we know the Raiders have Max Crosby, and we know the Bengals have Trey Hendrickson, and we know that the Niners have Nick Bosa, and, Chargers have, like, they've got these top tier, like, brand name pass rushers. And we've seen the Chiefs struggle in containing those guys. Most teams in the NFL have issues containing those guys. The Broncos don't have name brand pass rushers necessarily, and the Chiefs had trouble containing them. So 100%. I mean, I think that to me, the issues at offensive line, especially on the left side, it was amplified yesterday because it's easy to discount. Oh, I mean, they played against Max Crosby. I mean, it's Max Crosby. Or they played against Nick Bosa. Yeah, it's Nick Bosa. Like, this was different yesterday. And to me, it made it that much more glaring.
And so it tells us that, boy, anybody is capable of doing that. I'm going to pull up sacks now, and this will have yesterday included. How many did the Broncos have yesterday? 4 and about 1 billion pressures, right? They now are up near the top of the league. So collectively, look, even if you took those away, they've been a good pass rush this year. So I'm going to go and look here. Giants, don't got to worry about them. Jets don't have to worry about. The Chargers have been great there. The Ravens have been great there. The Texans, the Vikings, the Commanders, the Eagles, the Bills, and the Lions are all top half of the NFL teams. Now, the Lions are down there and they lost Hutchinson, and but that's a lot of teams that could potentially get you in some kind of playoff matchup. So we'll see what Andy Reid does. I will bet you this. That was an eye opener for them too with Suamataia. Like, that was really, 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 really bad. And we'll see what happens with Wanya Morris. I assume he'll be fine, but I think we'll start to see some kind of changes in the pecking order for the offensive line for sure, because they have to. And that you cannot have that happen again. Win or lose, who cares, right? Like, it's great that they blocked the field goal. It's great that they won a game. It's great that the unbeaten season is still on the line. That's all fun and a blast. But I think it is 100% fair, and we'll ask Dan Israel this tomorrow, to come out of that game and be like, all right, left tackle is a problem for this team. Like, for that to be, after everything we saw and all the fun of the ending and everything else, that be the number one thing.
But I think it's a fair question to ask. I think it's a fair question to ask. It's been a problem all year. Well, and yeah, it was amplified yesterday. There's no doubt about that. But this has been, and it's not just me. I don't want to pat myself on the back or toot my own horn. I've been saying this for weeks, and I know it's been against high-level pass rushers, but this has been an issue for weeks. Even with Wanya Morris out there, it hasn't been great. It's been better, I guess, but the bar has been set really low because Kingsley Suamataia can't be any worse than what he has been. It's I guess slightly a step up with Wanya Morris, but it's still unreliable. This has been an issue for quite some time now.
It has. And I think everybody agrees with you that it's been a problem and that it needed to be addressed. The problem with a trade deadline is it's like non-addressable. I think what we take now is like, but you can't do
there
nothing.
Was at least one trade. I know there was one trade for sure for a left tackle in the NFL before the trade deadline. Was that the Vikings?
The Vikings made it. Yeah.
In offensive alignment with the Jaguars. Like, who, and I don't remember who that was. That
Cam Johnson. Cam Thomas. Yeah. I don't think the Chiefs could afford him in the price. The Vikings, maybe in reality, they weren't more desperate, but they felt more desperate. And I think paid a lot for that. But to your point on, like, there have to be guys on that roster that you could put in ahead of Kingsley right now. There have to be. Like, literally anybody can do what he did on Sunday. He's not ready yet. He was totally outclassed and looked lost. And it is a major, major problem for 1,000 different reasons. So you got to do something. That's what we have to see now. Wanya went down, and Wanya's not been great. I agree, but he's been, again, I would call it a different stratosphere than Kingsley. So what happens now?
Would you be okay? I'm asking, like, would you be okay with Wanya Morris and his level of play if there wasn't the juxtaposition of how bad Kingsley Suamataia has been?
I think if you're asking me if you could tell me Wanya Morris was not going to miss a play from injury, would he be enough to win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I also mean, like, if you didn't have to witness how terrible Suamataia has been, then would you view Wanya Morris in the same light? Like, because I don't think I would. I think.
Oh, you're just saying, yeah.
It's been a little bit of a step up,
by osmosis, yeah.
Right. You know what I mean?
I do. Yes, I do. I do think I think they can win a Super Bowl with Wanya Morris for sure. And look, they could, in theory, win one with Suamataia. They could. I don't like hot takes. I don't like making like bold hot take. I would, if you told me that Kingsley Suamataia had to play significant snaps in a postseason game, I'm not sure I'd tell you I think the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. Wanya Morris, I would tell you, yes, I think they'll win the Super Bowl. And I don't even know what that means big picture yet, because I think by the time push comes to shove, they're not going to have to make that decision. I don't think when we get to a playoff game, unless it's an absolute catastrophe, we will see Kingsley Suamataia in his current form playing left tackle. They will literally do anything else. And so it's a weird discussion to have on November 11th, but they cannot run him out there like that again. They can't.
You know who's on the practice squad, by the way, right now? And I'm not saying that he's great or anything, but Lucas Niang, the Chiefs waived him at the end of the preseason. They signed him to the practice squad. He's got experience at both right tackle and left tackle. He's not been great, but he's currently sitting there on the practice squad. Like, I don't exactly know who you need to move, like who you need to maybe try to find a roster spot to bring him on. But man, like even just from a depth, perspective, if Morris is okay, and I don't even know if Morris is okay to start against the Bills this weekend. No idea. Their hand may be forced to bring somebody else up. But even if Morris is a go and ready, man, I think you've got to try to create a roster spot to bring up somebody like Lucas Niang. He's already on your practice squad. You might as well just like have him there, just because you cannot go to Sua Mataia right now.
You can't. It can't happen. It cannot happen again. Good. I'm glad that they blocked the field goal. I'm glad that they won the game. Cannot run him out at left. It disrupts everything to have that out there. You can't do it. Not right now. Not unless he gets significantly better. And maybe they see that in practice. I don't know. But man, oh man, what a crazy time. All right. Cody Jinks, Tommy. Are you in on Cody Jinks, by the way?
You and I were texting the other day. I'm late to the party on some of these acts, and I've listened to a few of his stuff, a few of his songs. I like him a lot. I'm just kind of now getting into that genre of music. Like I'm discovering all these different acts. I texted you about the Red Clay Strays the other day, who I just discovered, and apparently they've been here and they've been around for a while. And you're kind of like, laughing at me because you're like, yeah, I've known about this.
No, I wasn't laughing at you for Red Clay Strays. They're new. They're up and coming. They opened for Turnpike. They were the opener for Turnpike Troubadour. So they're still very much under the radar. By the way, speaking of bands that, I love, the Flatland Cavalry. Are you guys Yellowstone people? It's back last night.
Yeah, it's on the DVR. I haven't watched it yet. Don't spoil.
I'm not going to spoil anything. But what I will say is there's a band called Flatland Cavalry that's from my neck of the woods, or real close to it, that is a part of another band, and they came in and to the Cotillion. And when they came in, they mentioned like how much exposure they got because they have just an unbelievable song that was featured on Yellowstone a long time ago. Well, wouldn't you know it? In the episode last night, in a montage, I'm like, is that Flatland Cavalry again? Like, did they get him again? Total right turn on all of that, but they're in there. Anyway, Cody Jinks is of that genre. Cody Jinks plays one of my all-time favorite songs, Hippies and Cowboys. It reminds me of home. He's coming to Intrust Bank Arena, and we are excited to be able to give you a pair of tickets. Tommy, give me the details on this contest.
Yeah, text the keyword Cody. That's CODY. Text the keyword Cody to the code 20357 right now for your chance to win a pair of tickets to Cody Jinks at Intrust Bank Arena just a couple of weeks from now. And Jason Boland and the Stragglers opening the show. So that'll be a really good one. That keyword again is Cody, CODY, to 20357.
Message and data rates apply. Good luck, everybody. We'll also give away some HTO later in the show. When we come back, let's talk a little Shocker Hoops, baby. 2-0 with a couple pretty good wins against tournament caliber teams. We'll hit it next on Sports Daily.
Just because it's 4 o'clock doesn't mean your day's wrapping up. Get the facts first on 12 News at 4. It doesn't matter where you are. In the office, on the road, or on your couch, 12 News is everywhere. Bringing you the story as it happens, catching you up on everything you need to know, and giving you your first look at the next 10 days from Storm Team 12. Watch weekdays on KWCH and KSPW. 12 News at 4. Facts first.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into the jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Make yourself known now.
31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issue a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Wichita State Coaches shows tonight right here on KFH. Starts at 6 o'clock with the Terry Nooner Show, followed at 7 by the Paul Mills Coaches Show. Then at 8, some volleyball talk with the Chris Lamb Show. Tune in on 97.5, 1240, or download the free Odyssey app and search for KFH. You will get Dolphins Rams then as a programming switch over on KNSS. Pregame coverage of Westwood One starts at 6:30. Speaking of the Shockers, Tommy, Shocker men out to a 2-0 start, 2 impressive wins, 20 points over Montana State, 7 over Western Kentucky. They're covering the number. I don't know what that means necessarily, but I do know we're seeing what we hoped, right, which is a balanced attack. We're seeing significant minutes played by 9 guys, which is sort of what we thought we would see, right? in this season. And so here we look at it, and it's hard to imagine, like all things considered, it's hard to imagine a better start. Justin Hill has been the main, I guess, shot taker. He wasn't as much in game 2 there as he was in game 1, but offensively, we're seeing a nice balanced attack. We're seeing now 6 players average double digit scoring, which is, that's Shocker basketball, Tommy. Like when you can get that, we like what we see. And the depth looks good where it needs to look. And this is about as good a start as we could hope for.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Justin Hill is somebody that brings a level of experience and a level of consistency that has really paid off early on here for Wichita State. He's become at least their go-to guy offensively. And I think that knowing that and knowing that he's played the high-level competition in the SEC before, he's comfortable in the role of being the go-to offensive, playmaker, at least for Wichita State. And I noticed it, especially when they were playing on the road at Western Kentucky. He's got poise, and that poise that he brings, I think, is something that the Shockers have desperately needed. Somebody that can keep you consistent, somebody that can keep you level, that you can put the ball in their hands and they can go out and create offense for you, whether or not he's the one actually scoring or not. He's going to be able to provide just that level of poise that I think the Shockers have been missing.
So here are my big takeaways from the second game. They didn't shoot the 3 well at all. And they just didn't shoot it. And they still scored 89 points. Okay. So we've seen games from them where they have shot the ball well from 3. And I think that's a pleasant surprise. I think everyone, including Paul Mills, would tell you that's probably not the way that they're going to, be all year. In fact, he has told us that here on the show. So they still scored 89 points in a game where they didn't really, they made 3 3-pointers in that game, Tommy. Scored 89 points. That is, to me, number one takeaway of this team is generating offense in a variety of ways. That translates. Here's the other one in that game. Harlan Beverly had 4 turnovers. 4. Everyone else had 2. Only 6 turnovers in the game. That's another thing. Like if we go back and look at last year, turnovers were a big issue, right, in generating offense. They are doing both of those things through 2 games and some exhibitions really well. And that is really exciting to see when we translate all the things and combine it with what we liked about this team. I love it. I love the versatility, and I love the fact that they're taking care of the basketball early on.
Yeah, because there were so many times that I know last season, and this has been talked about a lot, but so many times last season that they would disappear offensively. But what I think there was not really a lot of discussion about was why they would disappear offensively. And more often than not, that disappearing act offensively began with turnovers on, and they weren't able to get, things going, and they were just giving the ball to the opponent. And so knowing that that's been limited, at least through the first couple of games, and even when they're not shooting at a high clip, you combine just a total inefficiency. Whether you're turning the ball over or you're not turning the ball over, but you're not making the shots. Either way, that just combines inefficiency and ineffectiveness offensively. That was really what plagued the Shockers a lot a year ago. So, even if you're not shooting at a high clip, as long as you're taking care of the ball, at least one of those 2 things has been improved upon here in the first couple of games. And I hope that can continue. I hope that Paul Mills can continue to instill in this team the importance of taking care of the basketball. You don't want to see 4 turnovers from Harlan Beverly, but at least his teammates, picked up the slack for him a little bit, and nobody else really turned the ball over. So can that continue on? I hope so. The level of competition will continue to get more difficult when you get into conference play. It's one thing to turn the ball over 6 times against Montana State. It's another thing to do it in American play. Hopefully they can keep that up.
Last year, they would have turned it over plenty against Montana State.
Right, 100%.
That way. And they shot free throws well, too, which is another thing I know that we all pay attention to with the Shockers. 22 of 26. If they do that, look, I'll tell you this. If they shoot free throws at a really high clip and don't turn the ball over, based on what we've seen so far, this team will be good this year. If those two things remain consistent, this team will be good. It'll allow them to win a lot of games. I don't know how big picture they're going to shoot the three. I love that they had a game where they've had games where they shot it really well, so they shot it, and they had a game on Saturday where they didn't shoot it well at all, and they just stopped. They didn't need it. Those things are all very positive. We'll see if we can get Coach Mills or a player. We've been doing pretty good of getting them in every other week. We'll see if we can get them in Wednesday to talk more about it. But just a really nice and impressive win for Wichita State. They go and they play at home again on Thursday, Northern Iowa. We're going to get another one of those crazy Thursday nights where we just got too much to watch this week, because that's when K-State plays too. And so they get that Northern Iowa game, then they get Monmouth, then they get St. Louis, Minnesota. But we're going to learn a lot about this team. These are, name brand type programs that spend time in the tournament. That's what it is. So Shockers looking good through game one. Love seeing it. It's fantastic. And it's incredible. Let's take a quick break. Let's come back, Tommy. Let's preview Thursday Night Football. Monday night. What day is it? Monday Night Football.
Today's Monday.
It is a good matchup, though. It's a juicy, sexy, maybe make some money type matchup if it goes the way the lines think it will go. Maybe it makes up for the rest of the weekend. We'll look at a little Thursday Night Football when we return. Sports Daily, Albrocht and Caster. Don't go away.
Just because it's 4 o'clock doesn't mean your day's wrapping up. Get the facts first on 12 News at 4. It doesn't matter where you are. In the office, on the road, or on your couch, 12 News is everywhere. Bringing you the story as it happens, catching you up on everything you need to know, and giving you your first look at the next 10 days from Storm Team 12. Watch weekdays on KWCH and KSPW. 12 News at 4. Facts first.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into the jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Make yourself known now.
310-01 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
All right, let's give away some HTO, our second contest of the day. You could win a free iced tea, sweet or unsweet, including the all-new peach cobbler, our seasonal favorite, as well as a seasonal favorite on the coffees, iced or hot. You can get any coffee you want, but we do have the new holiday peppermint mocha, which has been very popular. All you got to do to win each one of those is to text keyword T to the short code 20357. You can enter once per day, message and data rates apply. Saw somebody, we were both at separately at a charity event this weekend at the Kansas Star, Tommy, and I didn't tell you this yet, I don't think. On my way out, saw somebody who saw a great listener who finally won their HTO contest and utilized their cards, they told me.
Good.
The other day. They stopped us as we were walking out of the casino. So use those cards. We love being able to give them away. It's a fun event this weekend.
Yeah.
Cooking for a cause. I ate about 1,000 different kinds of food. Most of them were delicious. And you were embarrassed on stage by the dueling pianos. I wish we could have stayed. I wish we could have stayed at the I love dueling pianos. Wish we could have stayed a little longer for them, but we had an expiring babysitter. Did you stay did they stay rowdy the entire time?
Yeah, they stayed pretty rowdy. I didn't stay the entire time. I was wifeless and kidless at this event. So I was flying solo. It was a bachelor night. But I had to get home. So I didn't stay the entire time, but it was fun. Cooking for a cause benefiting the Pando Initiative. Odyssey, we were proud to be the media partner for the Pando Initiative for this event down at the casino. So had a bunch of fun doing it. Did you, I know how much you love playing craps. Did you get a chance to play anything at the casino on the way out?
No, I wanted to, and I did. Time expired. It was like Cinderella at the ball. It was going to be tight. The other thing is too, like, if craps is going well, it's going to take some time. I would have had to sneak out to be able to do that. I don't know why I don't just go out there and play. It's probably a good thing that I don't, but no, it was, we were there.
You're the same guy that said you were going to start planning a weekly poker game at your house. And it's happened once?
Once. Yeah, that's correct. It's hard. It's difficult to do things when you have kid activities every single night of the week, essentially. It just doesn't work like you plan. Different times of life. Speaking of piano bars and different times of life, I laugh every time. There was a time we were young and stupid, as opposed to old and stupid like now. But I see a piano bar. There was a time where It's my brother and I. God, I don't know. I don't remember how much we paid to have them play Fat Bottom Girls. And we ended up on stage with them dancing, shirts off, slapping our bellies to Fat Bottom Girls in the middle of some place and, whatever. I love dueling piano bars. I love that they bring that sort of energy and we'll play along with them. They were certainly doing that. Now, I don't think that happened at this charity event, but the fact that they get rowdy, talk smack, get into it, like I think they're so talented to be able to bring that energy and bring it out of people that I do love anytime I get the chance to see them. So good for the Pando group for bringing them in and making that a part of the night. I hope they had success. It sure seemed like they did. All right, Tommy, let's talk a little Monday Night Football here. I don't know yet what I'm going to do with this one. 49 points. I feel a little bit overish on it. At some point, we think the Dolphins offense is going to wake up now with Tua. This would be a good opportunity for them to do that. The Rams are also, back and healthy with their wide receiver options. Feels kind of like it could get into a bonanza type game. I want to say the Dolphins have been good against the pass this year, which will be interesting to see because the Rams are certainly going to want to throw the ball around a little bit. But I think we could get a lot of points out of this game, and I think it could be very, appetizing as far as, getting some bets, some same-game parlays and things like that. We've had a few of those in prime time, and I think this one could be that too.
I think it could be too. I mean, I really think that the Rams have this opportunity to, again, jump into really the battle of the Western division in the NFC. Again, the 49ers with McCaffrey back, it looks like that they're going to, go on a run probably. But the Seahawks are down, and I don't know. The Cardinals are kind of a wild card in my mind because of just what Kyler Murray did yesterday. He looks great, but I certainly am not going to count out the Rams if they can win this game against the Dolphins. That's kind of what I think that division is wide open at this point. The Dolphins, sure, with Tua back, things maybe will start to click, a little bit better for them. I just don't have as much faith in Miami as I did at the beginning of the year.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know how you could. But I do think, look, nobody thinks they're playing a game against the Dolphins and they're just going to roll right through it. The Rams are 2.5-point favorites. They're just too talented, Miami offensively, and can scare you that way. 2.5 points for the Rams at home. I don't even know that I like that side of it. And I'm kind of high on the Rams. Like I think the Rams are probably a little better than, they've had just gobs and gobs and gobs of injuries. They're finally healthy. These are two very similar teams in the stories of their season. Other than the Rams are very much alive in the playoff race and the Dolphins are not. But 2.5 points, I don't like picking a winner in this game. I really don't even know at this point who I would pick just on the money line.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from the spread entirely because I think that with Miami, there's such a potential for an explosive offense with the weapons that Tua has, but it's not consistent and it's not something that I feel comfortable in really looking at them. And then with the Rams, I guess you have to take into account a week ago that their offense was severely limited when Puka was ejected from the game. Had Nacua played the remainder of the game, it might have been a little bit, or I think it probably would have been a little bit better offensively for the Rams. So I don't know. I'm going to stay away from this spread entirely because I think it could go either direction. I like the over/under better than I like the line.
It's wishful thinking too.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to put either one in a same game parlay. I would look at player props in that regard. I would like a Achane receiving yards prop, probably a Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, just because I think Matt Stafford does like to funnel it to those guys when he has the choice. Let's go to the IHOP hotline real quick with Bob. Wants to talk a little NFL. Hey, Bob, welcome into Sports Daily.
Hey, gentlemen, real quick, I know you're in a hurry. I don't know if you saw the news, but the United States revoked the passports for all the player personnel of the Giants and the Panthers because we really don't need them back.
I was like, wait, what? How did we miss this story?
Man, I love
yeah,
that.
you know, hey, Bryce Young's won back-to-back games, but you know, that's if you're gonna, hey, if Goodell wants a team in Europe, I guess, yeah, you could just say, you know what, just keep these two. We don't need them back. You guys can have them. The problem is you got two teams there in New York. Somebody needs to play in that stadium. I'm not sure which one, would do it.
Yeah, the Jets fill the place up too. I know. So
can we send the Cowboys over next week then, if that's going to be the precedent here? Just get them
that
over there.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. Now I don't know if foreign relations would stand up.
That's true.
Yeah, we usually want to send want to send the best and the brightest, overseas to represent our country, and that's not.
We're not taking them. You take them. We don't want them. You keep them. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate the call. Boy, talk about a meaningless. That was a bad schedule for the Germany game. Yikes.
Look, Panthers and Giants. Yeah, who really cares? But the Jets. I know Bob mentioned them. I mean, come on, like they just quit. They quit on the game. Kyler Murray lit them up. Aaron Rodgers looks washed. They just look bad. They look like they don't care. I don't even know. I was trying to figure out what was a worse showing, the Jets or the Cowboys, and probably the Jets, because at least they've got Aaron Rodgers and had expectations.
There's no question. The Cowboys don't have any healthy players. Yeah. I missed on a very large, maybe my largest payout of the year because of that lack of Jets effort. All I needed was a little bit from Garrett Wilson, just the normal for him. And they couldn't even give me that against a team that doesn't really defend the pass all that well. Jets are on my enemy list. I'll just put it that way. They're on my enemy list.
I can't wait for Aaron Rodgers to retire at the end of the year, and in his retirement speech, blame everybody in the Jets organization as to why he's retiring, when really he played like crap yesterday.
Yeah,
he's played like crap basically all season, and they just gave up. They just quit.
And they just don't have a defense.
They don't have a defense. They just don't have anything, right now. And that's super disappointing. And I know you were high on them, for a while. I really never was, but I know you were fairly high on them. Just disappointing, just their lack of effort.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of talented players, and it doesn't matter. Like their defense sucks. That's not something I don't think anybody saw coming, but here we are, and they're a total non-factor. And as far as I'm concerned now, they don't exist. Because I'm mad at them. 869-1240 is that IOP hotline. We're going to tell you what's coming up on the network. It's a busy night all across this network and others. We'll get you all caught up next on Sports Daily.
Just because it's 4 o'clock doesn't mean your day's wrapping up. Get the facts first on 12 News at 4. It doesn't matter where you are. In the office, on the road, or on your couch, 12 News is everywhere, bringing you the story as it happens, catching you up on everything you need to know, and giving you your first look at the next 10 days from Storm Team 12. Watch weekdays on KWCH and KSPW. 12 News at 4. Facts first.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, You're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Make yourself known now.
310-01 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With more than 25 flavors, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day for half-price cups of tea. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
All right, that's it for us, everybody. You got regular programming today, including Bob and Jeff here locally. Then things kick off tonight. You've got the Terry Nooner Show, Shocker Women's Basketball at 6. You've got the Paul Mills Show, Shocker Men's Basketball at 7. Chris Lamb Show, Volleyball for Wichita State at 8. And that means Monday Night Football moves over to KNSS. Pregame coverage from Westwood One begins at 6:30 for Dolphins Rams. It'll be a busy night. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about all of it and continue to get you ready for another big week. Tommy, enjoy the Monday.
Yeah, happy Veterans Day. We'll see you back tomorrow.
Take care of your veterans today. For Tommy and Jad, I'm Jacob. We'll see you then.